Hey, welcome to Exodus Americanus, your inconsistent source for light news. I'm Stone. He's Roscoe. How you doing tonight,
Oh
Roscoe?
man, I'm just doing great.
Yeah, it's been another month, even though last time we promised it wouldn't be another month in between episodes. But you know what? Life gets in the way sometimes. So fuck you guys.
Hey,
Nah.
hopefully we'll start doing better again.
Yes. I hope we can. What's today? Tuesday the 19th. Hopefully we can get one out maybe
Oh
Sunday.
yeah.
You want to do one Sunday? Sweet. All right. Well, tonight is the New York primary. That's why we had Frankie do our intro instead of our usual DMX. So we're not going to spend a lot of time, I don't think, talking about it since you know nobody will be listening to this probably till tomorrow anyway, and all the results will already be public. So we'll probably go back and check on the as it starts coming in. I mean, it's 9:15 now, so results should be coming in here shortly. We do have a pretty full slate. What do you want to start with first? Do you want to start with the breaking news, Sean King,
Oh man, I'm. Let,
or do we want to
let,
wait?
do we have a proper song for a victory lap?
I don't think we have any. We got no, I don't have anything queued
Ah,
up.
that's unfortunate. Well, anyway, it's if you're listening to this, odds are you know who Sean King is. Sean, the if you look at a picture of him, you're gonna think this guy looks like maybe like his
Uh,
grandma banged a black guy.
he looks like a male Rachel Dolezal.
Yeah, that's it. Dude looks like he spray painted the top of his head black to pass for nappy hair.
And he's like a thin Sharpie for his little dirt
Like
stash.
he looks more beaner than black.
Oh,
Like
absolutely.
if I saw that guy on the street, I'd be like, hey, look at that beaner.
So what we're getting at is he got fired from New York Daily News. I get today. Yeah, it was just tonight. Apparently, all day he had been trying to defend himself, I guess, on Twitter and on the Daily Beast or something like that. Or no, Daily Beast is the ones who accused him of plagiarism. So this is fantastic because he's been on our shit list for a while.
Mm.
So I'm sure his Twitter account is just awful.
Just a just a show of
More awful.
faggotry. Oh shit.
Is this his Twitter account gone?
Uh,
Could it be?
how did you spell Sean?
Oh, yeah, I misspelled it.
Oh, by the way, Sean King is a white guy who pretended to be black so he could get a bunch of bennies, so he could do some rent seeking.
And he's been I mean, I don't know what his position was at New York Daily News, but he was pretty he was definitely the most prolific, I would say. I mean, I don't know anybody else who posted as much or wrote as many articles as he did.
And he was one of the leading proponents behind the behind all the BLM shit with Mike Brown and whatnot.
Yeah.
I mean,
I should have skimmed through this article a little bit before we started recording, but that's our
that's how we do.
that's how yeah.
So apparently, his excuse is that the editors like took out like his annotations. And I mean,
Yeah,
would
bullshit.
you
What a cop out.
would you really be surprised though if something like that had happened, but they just wanted to get rid of this piece of shit?
Yeah, I guess I could see that, but I think that's just a cop out excuse. There's no way that he,
No.
you know, like obviously if they would have done it, they would have done it multiple times. It's not like this was the first time that they would have, took out all of his citations.
Well,
And you would think he would have said it before, or like tweeted about it or something like that.
the thing that kind of strikes me about it is you take somebody like that onto your staff, it's kind of like like Michelle Fields and her like being completely BTFO'd on her claims of harassment. Like
No,
her
it's
indignance, like when like it got leaked to some news source before it got to her. Like, really, bitch? Like, you just got outed for like making false claims, trying to ruin some fucking guy's life, and now you're gonna act fucking indignant. But my point is, like, rightfully so, this woman's career should be destroyed because I think everyone should very reasonably have the fear that if you get close to this bitch, you don't know if she's gonna like fucking say you raped her or you put her in a figure four leg lock, tried to break off one of her fucking meaty thighs. And it's the same kind of thing with Sean King. If he sees a chance that, if he could push you in front of the train and make do some rent seeking off of it, it's going to happen.
no, absolutely. He even, I believe, he had at least accusations of he was raising money for Black Lives Matter, and he was skimming some off the top, or using it for personal stuff, and before handing it off to the charity or whatever. I don't know.
What?
I don't know how true that is. That's what I've heard in the past, and so
He is.
yeah. I
Have you
mean,
ever seen someone appropriate black culture so hard?
besides Rachel Dolezal, I mean that.
It's the only thing that even gets close.
Yeah, at least he wasn't the head of the local chapter of the NAACP.
Jeez, right? What a bunch of. You know what? I'm not going to say anything else negative about them. They're both on my bucket list.
Oh shit! Here it is in this CNN article. There have also been questions about him using money he raised for Black Lives Matter for his own personal benefit. King has denied any financial wrongdoing with the charity. I guess they use charity. I would use that term loosely. I would use it
Slush fund,
hate
maybe.
group.
Terrorist
That with the
organization.
charity. Yeah, charity's money. And in February, he called a black sports writer at Fox News a coon and an Uncle Tom.
Did did he read Uncle Tom's Cabin?
uh, Probably
No,
not.
like, do you want to hear a horrifying stat while we're talking shit about a white guy pretending to be black?
I do. I love horrifying
Seventy-five
stats.
percent of blacks in America have never read a book.
Ooh,
Oh, that's a scary statistic. Do you want to hear an even scarier one? This is across the entire population. 80%
yes.
of the people in the United States of America can't follow logic past a single step.
Yeah. Somebody was just talking about that. I heard about that the other
I
day.
think that might have been Molly. Stefan Molyneux, hope you're doing well.
That's a great impersonation. I'll never get
I've
over
been
that.
practicing.
Is that what you do in your spare time at
Right.
work? Speak to people as a Scot Canadian.
A, a Jewy, Germany, Scottish, Canadian. Jeez.
What a fucked up accent he is. But anyways, okay. So Sean King impersonated a black guy, got a job,
Did some rent seeking.
did a lot of rent seeking. I wish I was in this article. That'd be so great. Just in any like CNN article, you're just reading it, and all of a sudden they call somebody rent
Oh
seeking.
man. Well, once I have no doubt that before we die, that our side will have firm control of at least some of what's left of the United States.
That could be in a year.
Right?
Well, when we die, I mean,
Right? My eyes have seen the glory of the trampling at the zoo. We'll just leave it at that.
yeah. If you want more, go to your local Blockbuster and rent a VHS of American History X.
Oof. Or just download it off the internet like a normal person.
Shh. I'm trying to keep the money in the community.
I'm pretty sure that wasn't made by a white supremacist. Wait, are we white supremacists?
No,
Well, I
ethno-nationalists.
mean, technically to the left, anybody who's like to the right of Trotsky is a fucking fascist.
I wouldn't even say that because they still, I mean, the neocons are
Oh,
Trotsky-esque at
then
least, and they still consider them fascist, even though they're pretty much the exact same kind of
the
people.
Trotskyite neocons are the controlled opposition. Like, and
Yeah.
I say that like with whether or not it is a cognitive realization or just an expression of their racial heritage, like the end result is still the same.
Oh, we got our first results coming in. Trump at 68%,
Oof, that's
Hillary at 61.
man. I've seen some red ass beatdowns in my lifetime, but that New York beatdown that Trump is handing out to the booger eater and oh, what's his name? What's that guy's name? He won a state earlier, but that was just won one.
I forget. I forget. I know his dad was a
Yeah,
mailman.
and I know he had that. He had some fag living with him for like 17 years.
I did not know
Oh my god,
that.
yeah, he's a campaign manager. Well,
Are you sure you're not talking about Matt
no, 100%.
Judge?
John Kasich had a live-in boy toy.
I know, but so did Matt
Did he?
Drudge. Yeah,
Huh.
there's some Mexican dude down in one of his Florida. He had like a compound in Florida.
Well, I mean, this is Matt Drudge is a little echoey. Would you be surprised if there was some sexual deviation to go with it?
I would not.
I mean, it's to be.
So, but get this. Okay, there's 15% or so of the New York vote in. On the Democrat side, that equals out to about 178,000. On the Republican side, that equals 51 and a half.
Wait, wait.
So that's just to tell you how many more Democrats there are in the state
Jesus.
than Republicans.
I know this sounds kind of mean of me, but I probably wouldn't. You know, once I got done grieving for all the TRS guys, I wouldn't be that sad if New York went away.
Yeah.
It would be it'd be a great tragedy to lose those New York Jews.
Where we gonna get our diamonds at, bro?
Uh, I don't know. What,
Import them straight from
right?
Africa.
Speaking of diamonds, I don't know if you saw this or not, but Rob Morrow tweeted
Oh
about
God, what is? Jesus
here we go,
Christ.
right?
Rob
Why is
Morrow.
it legal to be a politician and not a prostitute? Said I don't know, but if prostitution were legal, engagement rings would sure as fuck be smaller. It's like 2 days.
Dude, he was such a bro for like a month, and now I don't know what the fuck he's been doing lately.
Mm.
Like I can't decide if he's just like a massive
Oh, for
troll
sure,
or if
he's
he's
100%. It's got to be satire.
I know he's a massive troll, but I don't like just yeah, I don't know. He's what at Rob Morrow Liberty or something like
Yeah.
that. No W on the Morrow. Just if you're not following him on Twitter, check
If you're
him
not
out.
following on Twitter,
If you
you're being
like,
such a jerk your whole life.
yeah, if you love big tits, follow Rob Morrow on Twitter
Yep.
and your 2D waifu.
He would love to see your 2D waifu. I mean,
Uh,
if I ever picked out a 2D waifu, where would I go to get her printed on a body pillow? Like, is that something you have to order from like a specialty Japanese site, or?
I don't know. You could probably go to your local screen printer. It just that would require going out in public and dealing with real people who will judge you.
All right, here we go. eBay anime body pillow. Oh, that is exceptionally creepy, and I feel like I need to burn my hard drive now.
You just delete it all.
It's a hugging pillow.
If you think you're being too safe, you're
You're
not.
not, because there is some weird barnyard stuff on that website.
I'm glad you got nowhere up. Got where I was going with that.
Jeannie Gold, wedding planner extraordinaire. How do you how do you have two sons?
But your persona is completely made up. We are the dream makers. We are the future.
That answer is completely unsatisfactory.
Oh,
Spoiler
man.
alert, I may have watched that yesterday.
I did too.
I think it defeats the purpose of cutting the cable if you still just like it's embarrassing. Like my wife and I, like we'll sit around like this, if we're just sort of lounging or whatever, like talking, reading or whatever. Since we don't have cable, we'll just put American Dad on or something.
Oh yeah, that's what me and my old lady do. We do it. I mean, we watch it almost every night. I would say at least 5 nights a week. We put on American Dad and watch an episode or two before we get to
Yep,
sleep.
American Dad or Futurama or Family Guy or something to just drone on in the background.
Yeah, exactly. And then you'll be like me, and like we'll put on a couple of the Steve like musical episodes in a row on just on accident, just randomly flipping through them. And holy fucking shit, those things get stuck in your head. Like I've had the hot tub song, like the song where he sings about Daddy's gone in the hot tub episode, stuck in my head for like 3 weeks. And I know you know it because I've been videotaping it, not videotaping it, because who the fuck videotapes shit? Recording it on my phone and sending it to you on Facebook and stuff. And so what we're saying, fam, is don't get addicted to American Dad. It's a terribly hilarious thing that happened to you.
Speaking of addictions, I have spread the cancer of that one fucking free-to-play mobile game amongst everyone I care about. I feel like a monster.
Yeah, thank you
And
for
I
that.
said, don't download it.
You did give me fair warning. I'm just glad I haven't spent any money on it.
So that's a great way to completely lose focus. Do we have anything else we want to say about Sean King shit in the bed?
I don't think so. Maybe Drudge hasn't posted anything yet, but if he does, in the running time of this episode, I don't know how long we want to go.
A couple days.
Yeah, that's
Set a
fine.
record for the world's longest podcast.
Oh, dude, did you see that world's longest movie or whatever?
Yep. It's like 30 days long.
30 days. Yeah. The trailer, they're releasing to 7 hours.
I thought.
And then next year, they're releasing the trailer that's a week.
I thought.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. It's 72 hours.
I felt like a beast when I made it through The Greatest Story Never Told.
That's like 6, isn't
It's
it?
like 4 and some change.
4, yeah. I haven't seen it. I need to.
Well, you're going to have a little bit more time lately, or coming up, right?
Yeah, here soon.
I'll hook you up with some documentaries, some good reading.
I'm done with done contracting with my old company, and now I'm in the home stretch with my new company. So after that, here in a few weeks, my time should be opened up, and that should give us literally zero excuse for not recording at least once a week.
Absolutely, and I've moved into a new job that is less demanding of my time and
always
less
good.
murderous upon my soul.
There's sometimes those things go hand in hand.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I saw this
Not always.
faggy art. Well, no, the person that shared it was faggy. The article was, might have just been the tip of a dildo, but it sort of raised the point that most people don't quit jobs because of the job. They quit jobs because of shitty bosses.
Yeah.
And there's definitely some truth to that, because I've had to fire numerous bosses in my time. It's always amusing to me when in an interview, it's like, well, why did you leave your last job? It's like, well, have you ever had to let go of an employee for unsatisfactory performance? As a matter of fact, I have. Well, how long did you wait to get rid of him? And they seem to understand my point of why I am often interviewing for the new job on the day I left my old one.
That's pretty good. That's a pretty good point, man.
I
I like it.
mean, if an employee fucks up, they don't wait 2 weeks to can his ass. When my employee violates the agreements of my employment numerous times, sometimes you just gotta say, "Kiss my ass."
Yeah, my new job, we've got a cat lady who's the only reason that she's still on is because of this big project that we have. I mean, she just keeps fucking up and fucking up and fucking up, but we kind of like got to keep her happy until it resolves, and then she's gone. Man, it's
Oh, counting
like,
the days, man.
yeah, like I had to. One of the things I had to do was put together an organizational chart. It's not a big company, so it was only, like let's say 20 to 40 employees that I had to do. And I spend like an hour and a half putting this together, making it look all nice. And she's like, "Oh, well, I have Visio on my computer, so I can do it and make it look real nice." She spends all fucking day putting together what I did in an hour and a half. I made it look good. It was only I found
Wait,
some
hold on,
website.
hold
I
on.
made the
Time out, time
organizational
out, time
chart.
out. Like, I completely understand everything you're saying, except for this bitch saying that she has Vizio on her computer.
You know what Visio is?
Well, I know exactly what Vizio is
Ah.
because my TV downstairs is a Vizio.
Oh, no. It's a Office
Okay.
program
I'm like,
with
I'm
an
like,
S.
bitch, does your monitor just have the fucking Vizio logo on there? Are you that much of a goddamn cat lady?
No, it's a Microsoft Office program, and basically it lets you just. I don't know exactly what it does, but apparently you can make organizational charts in it, and yeah. So something I spent an hour and a half making it look nice. It took her all day to recreate it in Visio, and it was still fucking wrong. It didn't look anything like what I gave her, and it's yeah. So what I'm saying is I understand it's frustrating, and unfortunately, just because of the line of work I'm in, we have to keep her on for like 2 more
Yeah,
weeks.
I expected my job to be filled with dildos, and the I made a joke at the bar, and one of the joys of being me is making tons of esoteric jokes that no one gets. It's one of the reasons that I love you, bro, is because you get my fucking jokes and I don't have to explain shit. But I made a joke about Pinochet, and this little Mexican girl that works there, her eyes just get huge, and she says, "Oh my god, I'm fucking obsessed with Pinochet." I'm like, "What do you mean?" She's like, "What are you talking about? He saved Chile." And I just wanted to pick her up and hug her as dearly as I could. And that's all right. It's like, okay, I have somebody that you know isn't a complete dildo to talk to. But
Um,
my direct supervisor, I'm heading out one day, and he pulls me aside. It's like, "Hey man, you got your concealed carry?" And I was like, "Yeah, why?" Dude pulls open his shirt. It's like, "I carry. I just feel more comfortable when I carry. So if you got your paperwork, man, you're not going to be starting a party. You'll just be joining one."
that's a that's a cool boss right
Well,
there.
I don't know if he paid me a compliment or not, but
Or if he threatened you.
no, because we were talking a couple days later, and he just assumed that I had like a philosophy degree or something. Like, no, I didn't have I didn't have much use for a university philosophy. And he's like, "Ain't that the truth? You can certainly tell that the winners of the culture war were responsible for that." So I'm interested to fill him out some more, sort of see just how sympathetic this gentleman is.
Give him put a couple little small red pills in his Cheerios every
I
day.
did, I did. Um, the area where we're working in, it's like 98% something white. Well, no, it's about 94 to 96% white right now. But the area is still being see, I hate to say gentrified when it's white people pushing out other white people and making the area nicer. So like revitalized, maybe. But I mentioned,
I don't know what the right word would
yeah, I
be.
mentioned it to him. I said, is it still a gentrification if it's white people displacing white people? And he said, well, from just looking at the word of it, technically no, but how many times have you heard it used in any other context? And then I made a joke about whether or not I would know that in something about entomology and etymology. I got a little bit nervous. I didn't want to show too much of my power level.
Showa was talking about gentrification at the end of this episode today. I almost got through a whole episode in one day. I think that's a fucking record for me, except for when I was traveling on my last job.
That was the nice part about driving, as much as I was with my old job, was I never missed any podcast ever.
The show, like specifically Enoch, was talking about how gentrification was just all the Orthodox Jews in New York not renting to black people in order to raise the property value, so they could raise rents, so they could make more money. Which makes sense. You never think about it that way, or you never really hear about it in that context.
There you go.
So it never really crosses your mind.
No, and praise God, I don't have a very close familiarity with New York City.
Yeah, I've never been. I hope I never have to go.
The area I live in is pretty close to a major metropolitan area. And I don't have to deal with a great deal of shitty minorities. But even the ones I do have to make me long for the days of the white supermajority Appalachian Mountains.
Yeah, I think I live in like the suburbs of the suburbs. I live way out, and I don't even live outside of a huge city. It's not, I don't even think it's in the top 50. But I think there's a couple vibrants in my neighborhood. One of which is a football player, NFL football player, I've never seen him live there. I've never seen him at that house. Or his family. It's like a shell with weeds. But anyways, let's get back to some topic or something.
Hold on.
Let's check on the results. Go ahead.
Well,
go ahead.
I wanted to mention, something that's come up on the show a few times is holy shit, is Hillary Clinton fucking dying?
Yes. I think
it's been going on for a hot minute, and if you're one of the, all right, fam, let me break it down for you. At this point, Mr. Stone knows that I'm good at making predictions.
Roscoe.
And one of the reasons that I'm good at making predictions is I understand what intuition is. Intuition is subconscious pattern recognition. And, little things like noticing that Hillary has been coughing her goddamn brains out at least basically every time the bitch goes in public, like once a month. That ain't a good sign, fam. Well, if you would achieve a throbbing erection at the visage of a dead Hillary, then it might be good news. So yeah, it's good news, fam.
Yeah, I almost just knocked my mic off the desk when you said that.
I was gonna say, I'm pretty sure I just heard you get hard.
Yeah, there was an article I'm trying to.
Is it this
search for real quick?
Article?
That's the one where the dude. She was giving an interview and she started coughing, and the guy asked her if she needed CPR.
Hillary Clinton has another coughing fit in a radio interview. Blames allergy season. Now I am sympathetic to the idea of allergies, because I have
terrible allergies,
right? But I'm able to get through one of our interviews with maybe just a few little coffee coughs. Maybe it's because of all the hillbilly NyQuil that I'm sucking down. The hillbilly cough syrup. Okay, so former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton had another coughing episode this morning during a radio interview with New York City radio show The Breakfast Club. Uh-oh. Do you have like a siren that you can play that's like a dildo alert? Dildo alarm. Dildo alarm. You are about to be penetrated. Dildo alarm.
We just need to record you doing that and stick it on there.
Right? Is it Ghoul on the Daily Show that does the nigger alarm thing?
Or nigger
Yeah,
alert.
yeah.
Yeah.
This could be our version of the nigger alert.
Yeah, I think it is cool. Who does
Yeah.
that?
Good old Ghoul. Anyway,
Good old Ghoul sometimes. We were talking about him today.
well, like my criticisms of Ghoul are things that I have seen in myself at times. So I'm not ready to be hard on somebody who sort of reminds me of myself.
Oh, no, we weren't being hard. We were just a funny way of saying that. Phrasing. We weren't being hard on him. We
We
were
were
just
discussing the Daily Show, and we had maybe we had some light criticisms of you, Ghoul. If you hear this, maybe we were talking a little shit about you behind your back. Maybe
maybe we think
maybe we don't think you're
maybe we think we're better than you.
maybe we don't think you're brave enough to come on Exodus Americanus. No, but seriously, love to have you on, bro.
Shit.
That's a way to stay on topic. So anyway, we played our dildo alarm, and the context of the dildo alarm is there's a good chance that somebody's trying to slip one in your old rectum here, and that's the vibe I'm getting from the Breakfast Club. Shall I continue?
Continue.
Excuse me, she said, coughing. After speaking for about 20 minutes on the air. Allergy season, she said. As she continued coughing and reaching for her drink. You all right? Any mouth-to-mouth CPR? One of the hosts joked, trying to lighten the mood as he reached into his pants to rub his flaccid penis.
Did you see what his name was?
No, I didn't. What is it?
Charlemagne with it, the spelled THA, God. Charlemagne the God.
Wait. So, people are shit talking Donald J. Trump for going on the Alex Jones program last year, or was it? It might have been this year. I don't know. It's been a wild, fucking wacky ride.
It has. Yeah, and then she goes on
With Charlemagne.
the Breakfast Club. Yeah.
Get the.
It's Charlemagne the God and DJ Envy.
Well, from what I saw, it sounded like things were starting to get too spicy for the pepper.
So DJ Envy asked her if she needed CPR. And then Charlemagne the God said, Senator, you're coughing like you got some medicinal. And then Hillary laughed and lamented that she didn't have any. Yeah, I need some.
So here's the.
And then laughed into her water cup.
So is she gonna put the medicinal in the purse next to her hot sauce?
I guess so.
Because in the same interview, she was telling these darkies.
Was it the same interview?
Yeah, it was the same fucking interview, bro. You want to talk about a med shitty occurrence of an interview. In the same interview where the bitch almost fucking dies on the air. In front of the dozens and dozens of Charlemagne the God's listeners. Everybody that's downloading the show over at the public library. She goes on to, during an interview with the Breakfast Club Monday morning, Angelina Yee, I don't know who the fuck Angelina Yee is. Why don't you Google that for me while you read this? Angelina Yee asked the Democratic candidate what she always has in her purse. Hot sauce, Clinton answered. Yeah! Now listen, I want you to know that people are going to see this and say she's pandering to niggers. I mean black people. Sorry. Charlemagne the God told Clinton, okay. Is it working? No, but seriously, I've been eating a lot of hot sauce. Raw peppers and hot sauce. I think it keeps my immune system strong. Hot sauce is good for you. Okay, so I'm pretty sure this is from Daily Caller. Like, there's commas in really weird places in this, and just the context of a lot of the sentences is just wrong, and it's kind of giving me a stroke.
I can see it in your face right
Yeah,
now.
but
But yeah, there's no way she fucking had any hot sauce in her purse.
No.
It's I would say it's pandering, but I
it's
mean,
lower than pandering.
who is she trying?
That's
Yeah, who is she trying to impress with this? Whose vote is she trying to get? That random Mexican bitch that carries around hot sauce in her
right.
purse. And, you know, right after she got out of there, she's like, "Kuma, give me,
Go through a Taco Bell drive-through.
Yeah, give me some mild, just in case." And now, if anybody calls her on it from now on, she can just pull it out, a little Taco Bell packet of mild sauce.
But just think of how big of a scandal it'll be when it's like a little saying on the hot sauce packet that's not been in circulation for like 5 years.
Yeah.
It's gonna be good.
We'll
have to be ready for it.
Man, I haven't eaten Taco Bell in a while. I kind of miss it, but then, you know.
You also don't enjoy having brutal shits.
Exactly.
So that's enough about old Hill-Dawg.
I'm glad we ended that on a strong note about Taco Bell.
Because she is, like, you know, outside of just how much we can laugh at her for being a fucking retard, she's an incredibly flawed candidate.
No. I mean, we could devote a series to her, and then just not even, like, we wouldn't even get done with Bill's presidency.
No, like, I've been trying to read the Clinton's War on Women, and like the first 100 pages scarred me so bad. I've been reading fantasy books for the last week.
That's a Roger Stone and Rob Morrow book.
Jeez. Is it the same Rob Morrow?
It is.
Huh. That is absolutely amazing.
I can't believe you didn't know that.
I saw the name, but I guess I didn't completely click until just now, because I saw Rob Morrow tweeting. He tweeted some picture that had LBJ in it and said one of these men was responsible for the death of JFK. And Rogers.
And it was just a picture of him?
It was LBJ and somebody else, but you know, Roger Stone, like his what really brought him into a lot of public recognition was he was on the overnight talk show Coast to Coast AM with John B. Wells. Did a fantastic interview about the man who killed Kennedy, the case against LBJ, a book he had written. And then the Clintons' War on Women came out, and he already had sort of that public recognition. And he has just been incredibly relevant this election cycle. I mean, I think he's somebody that I was pointing you towards pretty, you know, before we went full shitlord.
Yeah. I mean, I knew who Roger Stone was. I mean, you know,
to hear him echoing some of our sentiments and know that he was responsible for the Florida recount, it gives you a little bit of hope. You know, there's somebody who has seen this fight up close and knows how to fight it.
Yeah, and he's like 60 years old and fucking jacked.
With a sweet Nixon tattoo.
Yeah, I hope to God that thing is real.
Do you ever, in subtle ways, try to make liberals shit their pants?
I haven't had much time.
I haven't had the opportunity
lately, so I haven't had the opportunity. I try. Like, I don't know what you saw. I posted to my Normie Facebook today. The picture of the God Emperor.
Fuck your feelings?
Yeah.
It's a good one. But shit, lost my train of thought. Fucking Normie Facebook, man.
I know. I need to get off there. All right, how much time we got in here so far? We got 40 minutes. Go ahead. What were you?
I was gonna say I like to tell normies that my favorite president was Richard Nixon. and then justify it. And the more left, like nobody likes, basically now no one says they like Nixon.
Yeah, he's a great
Bra
president.
won over, like he won in 2 landslides because everybody was just so disgusted with the liberals.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's one thing. Like, did you see all those polls that came out that showed like Kasich was the only one that could beat Hillary head to head?
Yeah, it's because no one fucking knows who Kasich
Right.
is.
Like, I want to know who the fuck they're polling for this, and two, like, what do they think is going to happen when Hillary is on the debate stage against Donald J. Trump?
Exactly.
Like, he's not even turned the armada towards the Clintons yet, and Bill can barely go in public anymore.
They have to wait like a month in between his appearances because he just embarrasses himself in her campaign.
What about him going off backhand on Black Lives Matter? How sweet was that?
It's exactly what Bernie should have done last fall.
Instead of just cucking himself.
Exactly. I mean, can a Jew cuck himself? Is that a?
Ah, dude, anybody can be a fucking
that...
cock. But see, that's talking about cocks. It doesn't really apply to neocons because they're making us the cocks.
Yeah.
They're not really doing. They're just showing massive in-group preference in sly, backhanded ways. It's something we need to do a show on, or at least a strong segment on, about how Trotsky's expulsion from the Soviet Union led to the neoconservative movement.
I'm writing it down now.
Speaking of writing things down, do we want to take our first break?
Yeah, let's give our listeners who already know the results an update. So Real Clear has it broken down by congressional district, and these aren't the real congressional districts. I don't know how. Like, it's not the like congressmen or whatever, because they have more than 27 districts. But it's broken down into 27 different districts. If you get 50% or more in each one, then you win all of the delegates from that district. And then there's the at-large ones throughout the entire state. And if you win 50% or more in the entire state, then you get those ones. So out of the 27 districts, District 10, he's got 45.6. 12, he's got 44.6. And 24, he's got 47.5. So he's winning all the other ones by pretty much landslides. Yeah, most of them he's winning in landslides. So all but 3, doesn't have a majority, or doesn't have over 50. Yeah,
a plurality.
So he has a plurality in 3 of them. But I think that means he'll get at least 2, maybe 3, regardless. So fucking good night right now.
Oh yeah.
Oh, and there's one district who's not reporting yet, District 4. Those faggots. So yeah, that's where we stand. That's some good news to take into the break. Yeah. All right, so everybody go refill your glasses, and we will be back in just a minute. Thanks.
Just 2 good old goys posting memes on the tombs. Beats all you ever knew. Been in trouble with the Jews since the day they were born. Building a wall, gonna deport some spics. Someday the niggers might get 'em, but the Jews never will. Fighting the filth the only way they know how. That's just a little bit more than the Swiffles allow. Just 2 good old goys. If they'll change, they won't say. Rushing out commies like old Colonel A. Pinochet.
Welcome back to the second half of Exodus Americanus. That was Roscoe right there with his great pipes singing the good old goys. Um, if you don't know what that song is from, go ask your dad. If you don't know, if you don't know what he's talking about and half the stuff, go ask your rabbi.
Oh my god! So I almost lost my fucking mind the other day. I obviously the Dukes of Hazzard hold a special place in my hillbilly heart. My old lady drags me to Hobby Lobby, and I notice there's a stock car race set aisle. And what can I say? I fucking love those. Love that shit.
I just want to butt in. I fucking love Hobby
Yeah.
Lobby.
So
I love Hobby Lobby. I love obviously Home Depot and Lowe's, and I fucking love Bed Bath and Beyond. I don't know why.
because the whole store is like an as seen on TV commercial.
Oh, it's so sweet. I mean, it's so awesome. Like, I don't want to interrupt on your story, but my dad loves it too. And one time, my mom will never let him live us down. Like near us, there's like a I don't know, like a open air mall, out like a shopping
A
center or
strip
whatever.
mall, if you will.
Sure, but like one of the newer ones, where they're a lot cooler than a fucking strip mall. So mom's like, "Oh yeah, do you want to go to Bath and Body Works?" My dad's like, "Yeah, I fucking love that place." And he gets there, and they go to Bath and Body Works instead of Bed Bath and Beyond, and he just fucking pouts the entire time. And like you walk out the door, and he can like see it across the parking lot.
Oh no.
And then she didn't even let him go.
Oh, that's brutal. So we're at Hobby
Sorry.
Lobby, and I love stock cars. And I don't know if it's like I don't know. So I see my eyes light up. I see a Dukes of Hazzard stock car racing set.
Nice.
Not nice. Not nice at all. Actually, I'm going to send you the picture right now and see if you can tell me what's wrong with this picture. Because
No flag on the
no
top.
fucking flag. How can you have a Dukes of Hazzard stock car racing set without the General Lee, Mr. Stone?
I don't know. Put it on Twitter. Send it to Asmodor.
Oh, I could send it to that. I could send him this picture, as well as the Goys the Hazard song.
Do it. He'll fucking love it. If our listeners don't know, Asmodor, Azzmador, I think we plugged him before. He's just some fucking hick from Texas, and he's hilarious. He could show it on Twitter all the time. His new one is Asmodor _ 1488, I believe. He's had so many.
Yeah. All right, here we go. Asmodor _ 1488. Let's see. How do I tweet? At tweet2. There we go. Two things. Number one.
What a great show we're putting on.
Right?
Listen to us on Twitter.
Here's us posted on Twitter.
You can see it if you dig through our profile, because it'll probably be buried by the time you listen to this episode.
It'll be buried with the drunken shit posting that we do invariably after every show.
Oh Jesus! So since we came back from the break, it was probably what? It was only probably 20 minutes, half an hour, not long for us. Trump has already guaranteed at least 48 out of the 95 delegates, and it's only about half over.
Don't stop the beat down on my account.
Well, I mean, District 7, they haven't given him any delegates yet. And 93% of the votes in it, and he has 55% of the votes. So he'll get all the delegates, all three, I guess, in that district. So I don't know why they're calling some when there's 93% in, or not calling some when there's 93% and others when there's 60%. I don't know. I just work here.
Right. And I hope my drunken tweet that I just sent to Asmodor made some sort of sense.
And he literally just posted, "Everybody knows old Jews stink like hell." Even Even Jew Howard Stern talked about the rabbi's BO at Torah school. He's quoting another tweet by Yair Rosenberg. I'm not sure if that's a real person or.
So, you know that show Eastbound and Down?
Yeah, did Ricky Vaughn just post that suck it thing?
Yeah. I love the character of what's his name?
Uh, Man, I don't even know.
It's been so long since I watched that.
Yeah, I watched it the year it came out, and then
Kenny
I
Powers.
watched the second Kenny Powers, the second season, like a year later.
Well, I lost a lot of interest when I found out that it wasn't actually that blonde chick's tits at the end of the first season. I
Oh,
was
really?
heartbroken that it was a body double.
What a bitch! Show your tits. Rob Morrow would be very disappointed. Anyways, let's give our listeners something to actually listen to instead of us just shit post on Twitter.
Right? We ain't worth this.
You know what? I got something we can talk about. We I guess glancingly talked about this in our pregame warm up, and all of our listeners know that we take a lot of inspiration from Fashion Nation and the Daily Showa, and Showa just wings it every week, and at Fashion Nation they have like a dozen pages of notes at least.
I like to think we're a synthesis.
We're somewhere in between. We have one page of notes, but it's just literally handwritten.
Handwritten.
Make sure you hit.
Like, if I try to refer back to my handwritten notes, like anytime after I've written them, there's at least a minute and a half of confusion of me trying to like regain some sort of context for the madness I've written down.
Yeah, we don't write the headlines of what we're gonna like. It's not like New York primary results. It's Trump beat down. And they're like, all right, well, who the fuck is he beating down, and why are we talking about it?
Like, let me read you the show notes. This is what I have written down. Sean the White Nigger King fired, and then a link. Is Hill-Dawg dying? And then a link. During same interview, things get a little spicy for the pepper. Link. I hate to give away the magic behind the trick, but it is a certain form of madness that covering politics.
Yeah, I'd like to do the amount of stuff that Fashion Nation does. I love how in depth they go and everything, and they're real smart. They're great at what they do. But then I'm like, do I really want to spend all that time doing the research
the thing is,
when we could just pull up headlines the day of? And
those guys, think about it. They were insiders, so to speak. Working on campaigns and whatnot.
Yeah.
And I feel like that perspective will absolutely make them better suited for that job than anybody else.
Oh, no doubt. I'm not saying that we should, we should try to tell jazz hands or how.
Oh no, that's what I'm saying. Like that is their horse, and we will let them ride it.
Yeah.
Like.
I'm just trying to say that amount of prep is awesome. I love the commitment. Like just the time commitment to it is daunting.
Low time preference
and impressive. Was it low energy, high time preference? That's a good way to describe Vox Day. Anyways, so back to my hastily scribbled note that we talked about this like a week ago. The super rich and their
the bunkers,
their zombie bunkers.
Like I saw this posted on Drudge about like them. Well, for one, have you ever shit. Where is it? There's some place in the Midwest that has like this huge underground bunker that they put Christmas lights in every year.
I haven't seen that one. I've seen from time to time like old missile silos up for sale.
Hold on, I'll send you the
that.
link. Like I don't want to dox myself like and give away like exactly where and what I'm talking about is. But there's these massive fucking things like all over the goddamn nation, and like
Oh yeah. I know what you're talking about now.
and
On this.
so like new, like one, like these things were built in huge amounts like during the Cold War, like huge amounts of these things. They're building newer, better ones now. So I'm sitting here thinking, talking to my main man, Mr. Stone, like hearing about all these, one percenters, so to speak, retreat. Basically, voting for open borders, destroying our currency, and ruining our fucking nation, and then bailing because they got the cash to do so. Like, I don't fucking think so, Chachi. It ain't going down like that. You coming out of that bunker?
No. This conversation, I think, actually originated when we were talking about how we both wanted to get new rifles. Yep. I think that's how it came about. We were talking about that, and then it ended up being right there on Drudge, and it just kind of came together.
The thing about these bunkers and everything is, let's be real and talk about how terrible of an idea that is. Like, neither you or I are exactly James Bond, MacGyver, or Black Hawk Down.
No, but in 10 minutes we came up with a dozen different ways to either breach these or flush the people
out. Either flush them out or kill them all in there and then be able to go in and loot the fuck out of it.
So should we tell our tens of listeners some strategies?
Well, I mean, yeah, for sure. Like, you just got to think creatively. Like, you got a hole in the ground. How do you, the first thing that came to my mind was, I know how to use a backhoe. If it's out in the middle of nowhere, there's going to be, at least creek beds where the water will run when it rains. And even if it takes a couple months, after you've redirected where that water flows, they're going to come out or they're not going to come out.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, because chances are they're not drawing their water from some underground source. Nope. They're going to be bringing it in just like anybody else. And the same thing with air. They're going to have to vent air in. They're going to have to vent air out. And as soon as you find that, there's two very common household cleaners that when you mix together create something that violates the Geneva Conventions. Talk about chlorine bleach and ammonia. You mix those two together, you get chlorine gas.
And it's a bad time.
So, dump some down in there, cover the vent up, wait a bit, do the same, do it again. And either they're going to be dead or they're going to come out.
And either way, I mean, either one works for me.
Yeah.
My extremism is often sort of surprised me as of late.
In this aspect or another, or what?
Just in if we can talk hypothetically or whatever, we would never call for violence or what is it we need to say to if we talk about violence or whatever, to disavow ourselves.
Disavow.
Yeah, like this is all hypotheticals or.
Yeah, we're talking about into the world. We're talking about the collapse situation that we've brought up before.
But I have completely accepted that I'm either going to have to fight or die at some point in my life here in the good old U.S. of A. And honestly, the sooner, the better.
And there's the black pill.
Yeah. I mean, that's the big thing about Trump is Trump isn't supposed to, something like Trump isn't supposed to emerge until we're like 30% of the population, us being white people. So that is a real spanner in the works I never saw coming.
No. Yeah. I mean, he declared his intentions back in 12 I think. Yeah, 12. And everybody just kind of laughed him off, and he got out real quick. And he was just testing the waters, see what worked, I think. And then, when he declared, was it June or July of 15? I don't know, 9 or 10 months ago or so. Uh, he, at first everybody was joking about it, but immediately after his fucking press conference, his poll number, he jetted up to number 2 right behind old Yeb.
Who? Please clap.
And now, fuck man, he's been sitting at home trying to sell overpriced guac bowls.
$75 for doesn't even hold a cup of guac. See some robbery in my time. But do you think Rubio's done? You think Rubio's done in politics?
For the time being, I mean, he's not. His Senate seat is up. He didn't declare for his Senate seat for this cycle, either because he knew it was. Either he was so convinced that he was going to win the presidency because the GOP told him he was the anointed one after Yeb, and he thought he could beat Yeb, which he did. If you want to, if
he hung around longer than Yeb.
Yeah, he hung around longer. So, or he knew that even if he didn't win, he could
crawl back home.
Not even crawl back home, like spin that into some lobbyist job or
some industry
just
job.
Be some fuckboy for some super rich pedophile.
Ah, man.
Hey, he doesn't have to be a pedophile. I mean, he's obviously in his 40s.
He still looks like a child.
Yes.
Just like old Scrappy Doo, Paul Ryan.
Yeah, man, I used to like him so much.
Dude, he always rubbed me the wrong way.
That was back in my more libertarian days, I guess. Not even libertarian.
Basic bitch.
Basic bitch days.
Like, I had barely stopped being a basic bitch for the Ron Paul revolution.
I always liked Ron Paul. I just understood from the get-go that he was unelectable.
Oh, absolutely. I absolutely knew that he was unelectable. But I really thought that, like his participation in the process would open up the dialogue on a lot of subjects. Because I mean, in a way it did. For sure it did. And I really felt like, if they hadn't changed the rules, he would have been allowed to speak at the convention and really pass that torch on to Rand. Like, that was sort of what I saw as the long term. Like we talked about last time, Rand just decided to shit the bed and go to Detroit.
Yeah, and he must have been so fucking brainwashed and bought into that natural conservative bullshit that that's the only thing I can think of, because he's a smart guy. I mean, he obviously has his PhD.
What was it Vox Day said? That reason and logic are only good as long as they are in coordination with what we observe, or something like that.
Something like that, yeah. I think the basis of his argument was you can only argue rhetoric with rhetoric, and you can only, or the best way to argue with someone who's talking rhetoric against you is to do rhetoric, like a completely unrelated rhetoric back. And if someone is making cogent points, if they're using their dialectic, which is the opposite of rhetoric, using logic and reason, then yes, you can use the logic and reason back, because they either have the agency to, obviously they have the agency to make their own logical points, or either they're just spouting it off from what somebody else said, and then at least they're smart enough to repeat what they heard. I guess I don't know. Well, it's hard. I don't know. It's hard to.
Well, actually, hearing him sort of talk about it and then hearing you talk about it sort of gave me a better grasp of it, because myself, I gave up for the most part really arguing with liberals, And instead, like on my normie Facebook and stuff, I just, basically I just agree and amplify or trigger them as hard as physical or as hard as internetingly possible.
Mm-hmm.
And rarely do I go beyond simple philosophy or like I don't usually have to fall back on stats or whatever because I feel like I can make most of my points within philosophical frameworks.
Yeah, I mean, and I think that's kind of what his argument was with like Enoch, is you think you're like on that like I get what you're doing and everybody I think gets what you're doing, but you're still using dialectic to compete with their
You're
rhetoric.
casting pearls before swine.
Basically, what they're doing is saying the shit, and what you need to come back and call them. You just need to say, "Hey, you're a faggot." Completely unrelated, and even though you know what in your mind it's rhetoric, to them it's not. It's you're trying to argue against their point, even though you are trying to make, even though you're agreeing and amplifying. Like we said this a million times on the show, but the biggest example of this is the minimum wage. The $15 minimum wage. Why stop there? Why not $20? Why not 50? Why not make them real comfortable? Make it 100.
Or agree and amplify on gun control, and be like, yeah, I think the easiest place to start with gun control would be people that work for the government that have guns, because all those have to be issued to them. So we could start there and then move down.
Yeah. Secret Service can't have guns. Your police can't have guns.
If we'll get their guns first, and then we'll move on to the public.
Yeah. It'll be a lot easier. It'll be a lot easier to get the ones that where everybody knows where they are because they're, like you said, issued.
But if you're arguing with a liberal on Facebook, you're gonna waste. Like if you try to put out facts and reason and logic and evidence, you're wasting your time. Like that's part of the beauty of Trump. Like I agree with Trump on so many of his principal issues, most specifically building a wall on our southern border to keep out the beaners. But he also engages in rhetoric and emotionally mobilizes more people than the GOP ever has.
Yeah, it's, well, I don't know if ever has, but at least since Reagan. I mean, and I mean, look at the Reagan. We talked about the Nixon landslides, but the Reagan landslides were they are the landslides. I mean, it was like an Arab dictatorship. The amount of fucking votes he got compared to Carter and McGovern. I mean, you're laughing, but I feel like that's a good
no,
a good analogy.
I'm laughing because the black pill. The demographics have shifted to the point where Reagan wouldn't be elected if he won the same plurality of white voters.
Oh, he picked up the Reagan Democrats who were tired of. I mean, after Carter's disastrous, not disastrous, because I'm gonna retard and put a T on the end of some words.
His bed
shittingly
bad performance as president.
Yeah. Gas rations, record recession. I don't want to say record, but biggest recession since the Great Depression, and then the hostage crisis with Iran, and then Reagan sweeps into office, and guess what? 8 days was it 8 days later?
No, it was like within the fucking day, dude. Yeah, like within 8 hours. They're like, okie dokie.
Maybe it's 8 hours.
We'll go ahead and get those guys back to you.
I was trying to be a little bit conservative with that estimate, but fuck, that's even better.
Right. But the point is that with the demographics the way they are, even if you won the same amount of white votes, there's now so many non-whites that vote Democrat that he wouldn't be elected.
See, but the blacks aren't going to come out to vote because there's no reason to. Obama isn't. I mean, just look at the drop off from 2008 to 2012. Romney should have fucking killed.
Romney just disappeared like for the last what month of the election.
Yeah, they did that. He did that first debate with Obama, and absolutely destroyed him. Do you
Uh
remember
huh.
that one? And then everybody's like, "Oh yeah, we're rolling. We're going to be well. We're going to do well." And then the next debate, he like completely backed off
Yeah, yeah.
and just let Obama handle it. And then the third debate, it was pretty much the same thing. It was like the third debate was like a try hard. Like it wasn't. I don't know. I hate getting at a loss for words when I'm trying to describe these things because obviously we're in an audio medium.
That's correct.
But everybody knows what I'm saying. It wasn't a real debate. What he did was just a basic try hard.
He shit the bed capitulating to a Obama supporter in the second debate. It was
Yeah, I felt like he was. I felt like he was doing. Now looking back on it after we just talked about Rand, I feel like he was, pulling a Rand, trying to recruit a demographic that didn't exist.
mm-hmm.
The natural conservatives, the black conservatives. There's a reason there's very few Ben Carsons and Alan Wests and who was the other guy? The other black guy from the 2012 election, Herman Cain.
Herman Cain. Good old Colin Powell showed his true colors.
Yeah, instead of Condi Rice.
Jeez.
My old lady still loves Condi Rice. I can pull up link after link after link and just read this. No, I love her. It's like, no, you won't after you read this, please.
Sometimes it feels like Sometimes it feels like we're clubbing people with logic and evidence.
Yeah.
Using it as a cudgel.
Yeah, my old lady, she's not some Democrat. She's not some swipple. She's, on some cases, she's a lot harder to the right than I am.
Well, there's a certain threat that women face from dangerous minorities that you and I can't really perceive of. And if a woman is slightly perceptive about, white guys never followed her to her car at night, hooting and threatening things at her. My old lady has mentioned a couple of things like that and how they stuck with her and how, like, some of the shit that she says makes me almost blush. And I own a Pinochet helicopter tour shirt.
I'm not wearing a shirt right now. I had a Extreme Midget Wrestling shirt on last night that I got at an Extreme Midget Wrestling show.
That's awesome. I had my Hulkamania shirt on yesterday.
The Hulkamania shirt I'm thinking of, or a different Hulkamania shirt?
It's just a yellow tank top that says Hulkamania on it and that text. Okay. And as soon as I put it on, I start hearing, I am a real American.
We have, you and I, or at least I have, and I know you were still hanging out with the same group as I was back when we have those shirts. They're the Hulkamania style, but they say something different on them.
Yeah, I never got one of those. I actually got rid of all those shirts. I was butthurt about a few incidents.
I can understand that.
I mean, I was super butthurt.
Obviously, you got rid of some awesome shirts.
Right?
We'll see if we can. I'll take them to. I know a screen printer. I know we talked about that earlier, but I didn't mention I know one. So I know one. Maybe I can get them recreated.
We needed some Exodus Americana swag. Is what we need.
We do need some.
A nice hat.
So I think Trump is pretty much guaranteed 91 delegates. right? Well, he's called for 84 out of the 95. Kasich has called for 2. And that's in states where Trump can't win a majority right now. Which is District 12, which Kasich is almost tied. It's 100 and something votes difference. It's a small district. So they each have 1. Trump's going to end up with 2 in that one, I believe. If it holds out, 89% of the vote is in. And then District 10, Kasich has 34% to Trump's 45, with 91% of the vote in. So that's pretty much set. So I think Kasich is going to get 2. Trump is going to get 84. And then their District 20, 78% of the vote is in. Trump's at 49.3. We need him to get 51 vote. District 4, he's got 70% of the vote with half of it in. District 13, he's sitting at exactly half of the vote with 93% in. So they're only giving him 2 right now. District 23, he has 51.4 with 74% in. District 25, he's got 51.4, 99% in, and they're only giving him 2, so you can have 3 there. So, yeah, I'm saying he gets maybe 92, probably 92, maybe 93. That sound like a good night to you?
That sounds real good. Sounds all right.
So, all you fags listening will already know all this, so sorry for wasting your time. But this is news to us as it's happening.
Right.
So, basically, why are you sending me pictures of Taylor?
Because I want to split her in half like a cord of wood.
Taylor split.
Jared Taylor Swift on Twitter. Do you follow that account?
Oh, I definitely follow Jared Taylor
All right,
Swift.
just making sure.
I sent out a few of those. I created a few of those memes for. They ended up getting. I ended up getting a little bit of traction on it, and somebody downloaded it and re-uploaded it, and then I saw it get more traction after that, and it never got. It got more, even more after that, after what I uploaded. I need to upload it to my normie Facebook and just see what people do.
I have done that with a few of them before.
You have.
It's amazing that I'm even allowed to show my face in public anymore. Because I have.
My old lady's always like, "You can't post that stuff. Did you see what he posts?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And
the worst part about it is, like, us seeing the other post shit like that makes us think that it's okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll be sitting at work with Twitter open and shit posted on that, and then I'll go over to my Facebook and see something stupid, and I'm like, "Oh, good, type the exact same thing in," but I can't.
Speaking of regular normie Facebook shit posting.
What you just post? See, I can't. Like, some of the stuff we can't read off of our normie Facebooks, because all you have to do is just Google it, and it'll probably pop up with your real name and all that.
I'm gonna try that, by the way.
It might not be now because nothing's crawled on it yet. But all right, I'm making an executive decision. Let's move on to our real topic.
Oh, about how the Jews knew about 9/11?
Yes. How'd you know? I was trying to get there. Right after we started talking about Colin Powell and Condi Rice.
So I know what you're thinking. Like, really? Roscoe, the Jews knew about 9/11? Hear me out. So when Trump was talking about the dancing Muslims after 9/11, he wasn't really talking about dancing Muslims. He was talking about dancing Israelis.
In his defense, they're both Semitic people.
Oh, yeah, for sure. But honestly, I feel like, that helped. I mean, there were Muzzies celebrating too, I'm sure. But somebody calls the cops on these Israelis that are acting like they're at a fucking Skinner concert here in Freeburg for the last time. And they get picked up driving in their van that is the work van for a elevator refurbishment company. You know, the guys are, but the van they're driving around in has 9/11 painted on the side of it on 9/11. Another one of their vans gets stopped with explosive residue. All the dudes have like fake credentials for getting inside or getting in and out of the World Trade Center buildings for the last 5 or 6 months. All these dudes get picked up by the FBI. 75, 80 computers get confiscated, taken into custody. And these dudes go back home to Israel. No big deal. Fox News actually ran a segment about it. A video report about the dancing Israelis. And just went away.
It's it's fucking shady as fuck. Sorry, Roscoe's parents for cussing again.
Fine.
But Roscoe,
you can't be saying racist things about the Hebrew people on the internet. Throw the Jew down the well.
Hey, at least she says racist when she's talking about Jewish people.
It's true. But something that I remember hearing in an interview about the 28 redacted pages of 9/11 were that the most damning evidence was not in the body text, that it was in the footnotes, and it didn't point at the Saudis. The person who had read it, couldn't actually say anything outside of cryptically pointing.
Wait. Are you talking about the new resolution that's going to be passed, or are you talking about the old 9/11 Commission report?
Talking about the new thing. Yeah.
Okay.
New thing with.
I don't think we mentioned that yet. So I'll go ahead and give a rundown if that's cool. So basically, I don't know if it's Congress or Senate. They have, and I don't know if it's a resolution. It's definitely not a law. It's something that's going to basically implicate the Saudis in 9/11. So, somebody went through and read the unredacted 9/11 Commission reports. They went through and read all of the FBI evidence that never got published. They went through and read all the police reports that never got published. And all this stuff is, immune from the FOIA, Freedom of Information Act requests. If you request it, you're basically going to get a black Xerox. You're going to get a black sheet of paper back because it's all redacted.
I don't feel like there's a lot of good to be necessarily gleaned from going 9/11 truth or anything. Because
no.
I feel like the points that could be made by doing that can be, you can make those points without having to grasp at some of the straws that come up in a 9/11 truth debate. But being honest about the amount of incongruities and the amount of things that had to go wrong to allow the event to happen, it starts looking a little bit conspiratorial.
It does, and I think I'll always give until I see clear evidence to the contrary. I will always give W the benefit of the doubt because he was only on the job 8 months, less than 8 months at that point. And
I feel like if anybody in that administration was had some string, as far as that kind of thing goes, I don't really think that much power rests in the president's hands. And I think if anybody did know about it, it probably wasn't W.
No, that's If we want to jump down this rabbit hole for a minute, which we can, I'm fine with that. We got plenty of time, I think. So everybody knows that the 9/11 conspiracy, Bush bombed the towers to go solve the war that his dad didn't, or go take over Iraq like his dad didn't. Real basic bitch stupid shit. If the amount of just take, even if you do believe that, just take half of a step back and realize all of the implications of the president doing this to his own citizens, and B, the amount of just the vast amount of information, even back in 2001, that ran through the CIA, that ran through the NSA and the FBI. It is the president is not all controlling. He doesn't. Remember when the gas prices spiked in like 2007 and everybody blamed
Yep.
Bush? The president doesn't. Somewhat, he does set economic policy by passing or vetoing laws, but it's not like Bush was going. Side note on a rabbit hole. He's not going out there and setting or doing executive action on gasoline
Exactly.
prices.
The
He's
president is
not
not meant to legislate.
exactly. And we already had a segment back in a really earlier episode where I went real in depth on and a lot of fucking data on the amount of executive actions by president, by party, and we came to the conclusion that Democrats by far and away, did the vast majority of the executive orders, executive actions. Will you?
But I think it's worth mentioning that when we actually looked at it closer, W was putting out, pretty innocuous things as his executive actions.
Yeah, like one of his executive actions was the creation of the Department of Homeland Security, and then there was like 100 more setting up this organization, whether you agree with it or not, whether it's redundant or not.
Or like one thing I
You
saw
know,
that had like 50 executive actions attached to it was like something for a banquet to get like specific food for some kosher meal. Like for some big APAC meeting, there's like a shit ton of like for getting the right catering staff and all of that to make sure everything was super kosher. Like you had to issue executive actions on that, and that went into the tally. That's
yeah,
not exactly.
which is understandable. That's understandable, and I'm sure Obama does the exact same thing. I'm sure if you go into detail on his executive orders, there's a lot of them that are really fucking
But there's
stupid.
a big difference
That
to
are
me between W going to the ranch for a week and Obama taking 2 Air Force Ones all around South America while bitching at us about global warming.
that and doing the tango while Brussels is burning. We actually have a mutual friend who was over there in Brussels that day,
Ooh,
and they it was him and his girl. I don't know. He was with a lady friend. I don't know their relation because I haven't talked to him in a bit. But they actually, they shut down the city, but they let them out because they're like, "Hey, we're Americans. Let us the fuck out."
yeah. My cousin lives like 2 miles from where all the bombing went down. Like, whew, seeing all that kind of shit makes me pretty happy about where I live.
Exactly. But yeah, back to I don't even know where we left off on that because we do this all the time. We get on these rabbit holes and we go on side notes and then hit rabbit holes from that.
For us to do a 9/11 show, I think we would need to at least do a week of us like really prepping for the show because there's a lot of I really believe that a lot of the conspiracy theories that are put out are honest to god disinformation from NGO or basically State Department actors.
Very well could
I
be.
mean that we know that it was the CIA that was putting out the first conspiracy theories about the JFK shooting,
Yep.
and we know that I'm sort of similar to Anglin, the guy that runs the Daily Stormer, and that I sort of came to the
Mhm.
movement through conspiracy theories. And I'm still pretty agnostic on the topic of, alien contact and all of that. But there's honest to God FOIA request and proof of the government, putting out disinformation into the UFO research field. So it gets weird, man.
Yeah, but I think my personal opinion on that is a lot of that is just to keep people talking about aliens rather than the actual military implications that could
For
be. Because we know the military tried to make, like a saucer type plane. And they fucking flew those and crashed those all over the fucking Southwest. Because you know why? Because it's almost impossible to make. Well, it probably is, even with today's technology, still impossible to make in a gravity environment. Get it into space, who knows? But it's hard to get something to spin because as soon as you have one little gram off balance, that thing's going to start shaking like
But
an off balance centrifuge is basically.
my point was that I've done a lot of digging into the 9/11 stuff, and there's people who try to put forth arguments that the towers were knocked out with energy weapons or mini nukes and that kind of thing, and all of that is just such a waste of time when you can point at actors and people that stood to gain from actions. Like there's a lot more without getting into like nuts and bolts and physics and stuff. You can find a lot of damning evidence.
And it's the dumbest argument I think is, but steel doesn't melt at 6 gorillion %, bro. But they ever take into account that when you heat up metal that it becomes pliable. Just because you can't melt it doesn't mean that you can't bend it. Put a paper clip under a lighter. Iron doesn't melt at the temperature that a lighter gets, but you can still.
And how many? Here's the thing. Like let's say that everything as far as what we saw, the planes being flown into the buildings, that all that was 100% legitimate. How hard would it be for CIA assets to manipulate a low IQ, terror cell into executing those kind of attacks? Like how many men would you have to have in that cell to influence it in that direction? 1, 2?
Yeah.
Like you're not talking about a tremendous amount of resources here. Like, that's a few phone calls tops.
I mean, because most of the CIA's assets in the Middle East are either Mossad agents or ex-Mossad agents. It's why can they have these assets? Because they don't. A, they look just like the native population. B, they don't fucking care about anybody but themselves. And who are themselves? Israel.
Yep. And that's just looking at it from that point of view, from that perspective. And realizing that the acts of manipulating it to happen wouldn't be that far out of the realm of the possibility, especially if you understood who had what to gain. When you understand that our foreign policy for the last 20 years has basically been to ensure Israeli hegemony in the Middle East.
Since when did
basically when Reagan got shot? From the point that Reagan got shot,
what?
And he was able to issue all those edicts that led to the Iran Contras and all that drug running and stuff.
Ollie North?
Yep.
And it's gold?
That is it. But that is what's funny is that's actually what tied the Bushes into the Clintons, was them moving those Nicaraguan drug assets into the United States, into Nema, Arkansas. And it was, did you watch Breaking Bad?
I did, but I did not know what you were just saying. It's new to me.
Yeah, this is all stuff that you can look up in congressional reports, and it's in some of the stuff that Roger Stone has written about. But in Breaking Bad, when they were moving the meth in the Pollo Locos truck, that was inspired by the drugs being moved into the country by CIA into Nema, Arkansas, and then Clinton, who was basically put into power by Tyson Chicken, using the Tyson Chicken distribution network to move the drugs across the nation.
I still like their chicken.
Right?
It's probably because it's tainted with drugs. They probably got me fucking addicted when I was a kid.
We just got him off the cocaine the last bucket of chicken we bought. I got so high.
And fucking tendies, man.
Oh man, tendies. And speaking of tendies and good boy points, come on guys, go give us some good boy points on the internets.
Yeah, we're back this time for reals, for serious.
Yep.
Anyways, I think we need to tie this back to where we initially wanted to go with this was, I think we started talking about it with the new resolution or report or whatever that Congress or Senate's going to put out. Excuse me, to tie the Saudis to 9/11.
So you don't even have to. You don't even have to play like conspiracy stuff. We know what, like 14 of the 19 hijackers were Saudis.
15.
Yeah, like a massive amount of them were fucking Saudis. And instead of talking to the United States, citizens and survivors of this attack by a bunch of Saudis, our president is over there sucking the fucking rings of the Saudi emperors.
Yeah, because their threat is that they're going to sell off $750 billion
I wish a
in
nigga
assets.
would.
A, yes. And B, okay, if they're selling it, somebody's going to buy it. And probably at a markup, which means that our assets are worth more.
So fuck them.
Good. Thank you. Sell off all of your assets. You know what that means? We don't owe you anymore. We don't owe you anything because we have no ties to you. We don't have to buy your oil anymore.
Fuck those 5th century barbarian, backwards ass, savage piece of trash, camel fucking sons of bitches. Fuck them.
They just brought up a resolution or something to OPEC to try to cut oil production, and everybody else was like, nah. And a big portion of OPEC now is Iran, which if Obama let if Obama planned this like this entire full circle thing, get rid of the what are they called, the restrictions, the tariffs, what I'm talking about? What's the word? The blockages. Yes. Whatever. With Iran. All this to come back and sanctions. Fuck the Saudis, and then great sanctions. Got rid of the sanctions with the Saudis, gave them $500 billion. Everybody's like, oh, well, the U.S. just lost $500 billion. No, we really didn't have it. It was all in escrow. So we didn't own it. HSBC or Goldman Sachs owned $500 billion, and they were earning interest on that shit. But anyways, if this was some massive, huge plan, then wow. Well played, son. His long game from back when he was a community organizer.
Yeah, I'm going to have to go ahead and call shenanigans on that.
Yeah. But it would be great if he would just, like the day after he leaves office, he's like, fooled y'all.
I'd be impressed.
I would be too.
But
the long game is a hell of a game.
When did you say you're going to start freeing up more time?
Well, my time is a lot more free than it was a week and a half ago.
Well, do we want to, do some mutual reading, watch a few 9/11 documentaries, and see if we can come to any conclusions?
I think we can do that. Let's try to dedicate Saturday to watching some documentaries. Or do we really want to call them documentaries? I mean, conspiratorial bullshit.
But there's one that I'll send you that I actually put a little bit of stock in, and I will actually watch tonight and give you an update on whether or not I still think it holds water, because it's probably been a few years since I've watched it. But I would like to. I've never really heard anybody on the alt-right really, be brave enough to tackle 9/11.
I'm down.
I mean,
yeah, I'm sure we can pull an hour out of that if we do it on Sunday.
Awesome. And
or even if we can always add more onto it and do it like a regular show, and then append.
Do appendices.
Yeah.
All right. So do we want to take a break, or do we want to call it for the night?
My old lady's already came knocking on the door a couple times, so I would love to continue.
So let's play us out, and we'll come back in with some 9/11 bullshit in less than a week, you sons of bitches.
Yeah, actually, I think we had two tiny little more things to do that we can get through real quick. One of which is how Cruz's his epic landslide wins and the delegates
Top fucking law.
came back. came back to haunt him completely. And then you had something to talk about with like Doors or something.
Well, I just wanted to mention that I hate the Doors and I hate Jim Morrison. Like, the Doors fucking suck. The guy's voice is alright, but his songwriting and his actual delivery sucks a bag of dick. He had a fantastic and talented band, especially the keyboard player. But other than that, the Doors, fuck them. And Aerosmith. I fucking hate Aerosmith. I wouldn't walk across the street to watch Aerosmith. If Aerosmith...
Dream on, dude. Dream on.
Yeah, dude. Even a broken clock is right twice a day. I mean, Dream On and Emotion, like, I'm not going to freak out and try to change the channel. Like, otherwise, like, if I can't reach the radio, I might be trying to grab the steering wheel.
You're so jaded. You getting tired of my Aerosmith song puns?
I hate you so much right now. Do you know why I think I hate Aerosmith? Because of that bullshit arcade game that they had back in the 90s, where you had the Uzis that shot CDs. Do you remember that shit?
I don't.
Oh, man, hold on. How do you spell Aerosmith?
AERO.
Aerosmith arcade game. Revolution X.
Never
Hold
heard
on.
of it.
It's fucking real, by the way.
I believe you.
That's never a good idea. But
No, this is yeah. Arcade rail shooter. Okay, yeah, done. Thanks, Wikipedia. 7 words in, I'm
wait,
done.
are you angry now at Aerosmith?
No, I'm angry at you for showing me that.
Well, personally, I'll never forgive Aerosmith.
I spent like $12 in quarters. I couldn't get past the first level because I suck.
I actually played it on Super
Fuck
Nintendo
Aerosmith.
and beat it, and Jesus,
Still unsatisfying.
I hate Aerosmith.
I'm sorry.
I hate him so much.
How do you feel about the movie Dazed and Confused?
I'm all right with it.
You know, he's coming out with a new movie. It's Aerosmith was like what 70. It was set in 76. This movie is set in like 80, and it's Richard Linklater, same guy who did Dazed and Confused, and it's like a college baseball team in Texas, like the same town or whatever,
All right.
like in like 1980, and it's supposed to be really really fucking good. It's like the same thing as Dazed and Confused, like a bunch of no-name actors, and obviously from Dazed and Confused we got
Matthew McConaughey.
Ben Affleck, Parker Posey, Joey Lauren Adams, the guy who played who was the super high dude all the time. He was like in one of those NCIS shows.
Oh shit, was it me?
Yes.
Oh my god, I was on NCIS.
Where did that decade go?
Ooh.
Ramsey Paul just tweeted 46 seconds ago. Happy birthday, baby Hitler.
Is it 4:20?
No.
Not for another half hour.
Yeah, we're on East Coast time zone. And so is Ramsey. He's in DC. What a moron.
I just tweeted and asked him what time zone he was in.
So, yeah, well, I guess the last thing, the cruise, his landslides in the non-voting states. That also happen to be the evangelical states who are falling for his bullshit. Like, I know conservatives don't use the internet as much as liberals, but seriously, do these people just What how do they get their news? I mean, even Fox doesn't like Cruz. They don't like Trump.
Right? Like, I have never met it. Like,
Is it? It has to be Glenn Beck.
the only people I've met that were like even amicable to Cruz were people that still preferred Trump. People that were like, you know what, I could stand Cruz. Like it would. They
Yeah,
certainly weren't excited about it.
you and I have talked about him like pulling him in. Like this was way back before any of this. It was, back when there were still 10 people in the race, and we were talking about, Cruz is obviously the number two, and how do we pull him? Like, could we pull him under Trump's wing as a VP, something like that? It's like it's been a while since we talked about that, but I don't want to throw like I don't want to be like a liar and say we've never thought about
No,
it.
but I mean, Cruz went pretty far off the fucking rails compared to where he started out in the race.
Yeah. He was with Trump and Carson, the outsiders and the guys that would stand up to the establishment. And then, oh, his wife works for Goldman Sachs. Oh, he had a loan from Goldman Sachs they didn't report to the FEC. Oh, he has a loan from Citibank they didn't report to the FEC. Oh, he's cheated on his wife a half dozen times, or with a half dozen women, probably hundreds of times. Actually, I don't want to give him too much credit on that part. He's cheated with his wife a half dozen times. Maybe he's literally only cheated with her half of that amount.
I mean, like I said before, the guy has the sex appeal of an aging basset hound.
There's
like if this guy wasn't rich and powerful, he would still be a virgin.
And the only reason he's rich and powerful is he's married to Heidi, who worked for Goldman Sachs, and then she was on that North American Union.
Well, dude, it's starting to look like his dad was a anti-Castro CIA asset.
I had heard about that a bit.
And that is strikingly similar to Obama's daddy, Frank Marshall Davis. Talking conspiratorial, but that's a long tapeworm to start pulling out.
Yeah, well, that's probably why he had to flee. Yeah, he had to flee from Cuba all the way up to Canada instead of,
Well, he left America for Canada, like the year that they started doing the investigation into that. I think like 65 or 66.
I mean, he immediately left. Well, after he left Cuba, he went to he stopped in America, but he didn't stay long at all.
But I think that's about all I got for the week.
Yeah, I think we're kind of dragging on now. Yeah, Cuban 1939 to 1973, Canadian 1973 to 2005.
Yep, time to ship them all back, and I don't care where. Cuba or Canada, take your pick.
He arrived in Austin, Texas, and he didn't really say anything else. Anyways, I think that's about it. We have been going. This is a good episode, long episode, almost 2 hours. It's our longest yet, I think. So good. We will be back here on Sunday, come hell or high water, whether we are talking about 9/11 conspiracy theories or we're just talking about neocons and Trotsky expulsions.
Ooh, that sounds fun.
It does. So, any last words?
That's all I got.
All right, let's see if I have a good song to play us out. Oh, never mind. I know what we're going to play out on. It's going to be in post. So, thank you all for listening to Exodus Americana. See us on SoundCloud.com/Exodus Americanus. ExodusAmericanus.com, on Twitter, EXO Americanus. He's Roscoe SB Jones. And what else do we have? Anything else?
That's it.
That's a good shit. So, all right, guys. Thanks for listening. Like we said, we'll be back in just a few days. And make America great again.